So the next step that we're going to have to do is we've got to start working on reducing these guys here, the 4x4 portion. The way that I'd recommend doing this is let's move all of the 3x3 edges up to a 3x3 side. Now it doesn't matter the color, we're not trying to get the color in, so this is fine over here and this is fine over here. So I've got these four into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this like the second layer, and I'm going to try to move all of these to the top while getting these where they're supposed to be. Now I should add this, we have to do it like a super cube, so we can put any edges here. We got to make sure this center, any of these center pieces are faced this way, so it's longitudinal like that. Because we're going to be moving it across this way. So when you see it rotated off by 90 degrees, just move it down, double turn, move it by 90 degrees, and up. So as long as it's facing this way, you're good. Let's do that with all the centers. I probably should have done that first, but easily fixed. So this is facing the right way, this is facing the right way, this is not. Okay, so all these are fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move these to here. Now notice something. This is going to bandage this. This is a corner, an edge piece that's rotated 90 degrees. So I got to get that out. And the way that I'm going to do that is the same way that I did with these edges. So we're going to move it down to the center, move it across, take it 90 degrees, move it down back and up. Okay, so that shouldn't have messed anything up. So this is all good. Okay, so this guy has to come down to here. Now notice when I turn this, this is going to bandage it. So before I turn it down to here, I'm going to have to rotate this also. So bring it down to the center, move it off to the side, 90-degree turn, back to the center, and then back up. Okay, so in that way you can now see that this, when it moves down, is going to be facing the right way. It's not going to bandage anything. So we'll go ahead and put it down using the beginner's method algorithm of middle layer placement. And now this is going to come down just fine over here. UR, UIRI, UIFI, UF. And so you can see all these are in, even though the color's not right, but I told you not to worry about it. Now these can move freely over here. We've taken the bandaging out. So here's what we're going to do. We have to put all the centers in center position and all the edges in edge position. We're trying to get the cubic form as best as we can. So we're going to start off with any side. We've got this over here. So we've got center, edge, that's good. Center, edge, that's good, center. So really we have to put an edge here, a center's in here, and I'm going to do a cuboid algorithm. So if you take a look at this piece and this piece, or yeah, so this piece and this piece, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. And you flip-flopped these two. That's what it does, flip-flop these two. Don't worry about what happens here. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. You do the same thing with this, 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R. So it flip-flops these two, 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R. So that's what I'm going to do. I want this corner to come down to here. So I'm going to do 2R, and I'm going to turn this entire top here because we don't care about these positions here. So 2RU, and it's just easier to keep track of. 2R, UI, 2R. So you can see now we have an edge in edge area, center. I need to put an edge here. I can do it from here, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do this one. Now alternatively I can say, well, you know, this is a center position, this is an edge position, this is a center position, this is an edge, so why don't we just move this over here so it's in this mix-up position and flip-flop these two. This center will be in this position, this will be in this edge position. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, and then I can just move this back. So now you can see that on the bottom, all edges and all centers are where they need to be. So I'm going to turn this upside down and do the same thing here. So I've got edge, center, center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an edge and move it down to here. So I'm actually going to destroy this for a little bit, but I'm going to put this in here just to move this center up. Then I'm going to take this center and swap it with this edge. So 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. We like this over here, we don't like this here, so we're going to have to put this in a center position, so we keep going around until we see this. So this needs to go into this position, so I'm going to put this in a mix-up position to swap with this center. So this center will come down here in center position, this edge will come up here in edge position. 2R, U, oops, 2R, UI, 2R, this moves back. Now, I only had a couple that was out, but you could have a lot more. It's done exactly the same way. Just put one layer in, then turn it upside down, and just take anything that's in a center position here and swap it with something that's in an edge position up here. So hopefully that made sense. The next thing that we have to do is we have to flatten these guys out, and the algorithm is the same. Now notice when I did the algorithm with the M, you needed to have two that were flipped upside down and one that was flipped correct. So we need to pair two. As long as I have two, I can put them down. And the way that that's going to work is one has to be on this side, the other has to be over here. So I'm going to just maneuver that. So you're going to sort of mess up your configuration a little bit, but that's okay. Put this here, up, and here. Okay, this is here and this is here. Now I need to put another one here. Let's not do a 3x3 mix-up area. So I'm just going to wheel one in, and we'll say this guy here. No, let's not say that guy here. Let's say this guy over here. So let's get this out of the way, move this into place, and move this down. So do the algorithm, which will flip this one correctly and flip this one correctly. This, who cares what it's going to do for now. Same algorithm, MI-U, MD, MI-UI, MDI. And you can see these are now flat. So you can undo your steps, or you can just kind of position things and get it back the way that you're supposed to. This is rotated wrong, so that's not going to help me much. I'm just putting things back in. This is rotated wrong as well. I'll just move it in like that. Putting this down here. And this down here. Okay, so we're back here. So now what we have to do is we have to continue pairing these. And if we're lucky, we can just kind of move things in, like boom. So this is paired over here. And now I just have to pair these guys here. Now how am I going to pair these without messing this up? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow a 4x4 strategy that if you solve the 4x4, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is a situation on a 4x4 where you can see all of the edges are reduced, but you got two that are not reduced. Now what you want to do is you want to have two that are the same color on the same opposite sides here, and these on opposite sides. And what this algorithm will do is it'll flip these two. So this will end up here, this will end up here. But basically, when you have two colors that are really on the same level on opposite sides, you're going to end up pairing them when you do that algorithm. And that's, you do a U, where you're moving both. So you're moving this to this, U, then do R, FI, U, RI, F, and then move it back. And then you're going to see that it's going to pair these together. So I'm going to make use of the same process, because notice when I paired these, nothing else was affected. Well, so too, I want to pair these without affecting this. First thing I want to do is I want to disenfranchise it, move this away from this, because it's part of the same piece. So I'm just going to move this up here and go and do a mix-up move. So that's going to be splat. Okay, now I don't have to worry about it. Now what I want to do is I want to move these opposite. So if this is here, I want to move this one either to here or this to here. I got to disenfranchise this from here, so I'm going to move this up like so and go one. Oh, right back where I started, didn't I? Okay, so this will come up like this. No, that's not going to work at all. Alright, so I think what I need to do is I need to somehow, okay, this will work. This will swap with this, which will take it away from here. Okay, so now if I take this and move them like that, I've got these two facing opposite ways. So doing that algorithm should pair these together. Now if these were both here, it'll do exactly the same thing. So either you put them both here or here. I'm going to be making use of that later. But watch what happens. I'll do U, R, F-I-U, R-I-F, and swing it back. So you can see these are paired and these are paired. So now it's just a matter of putting them in. So let's say we have this situation where everything is in except we have this is out and this is out. So you're thinking, well, we can move this here and pair this together, but here's a problem. You can't put it down with just one. It's almost like a parity kind of an error where you have to have an even number of pairs and an even number of total amount of small ones that are up. So you've got 2, but you need at least 4, and you have 1 here, but you need at least 2 pairs, 1 pair. So what are we going to do about this? Because if I try to do the algorithm, then I'll always have 1 up, 1 out, and the rest in. So the way that you get out of this is basically you keep them separate from each other, and you're going to line it up to where you do the algorithm, and you're going to try to keep it to where if you do the algorithm, let's say we move it over here, and this guy comes over to, put him here, so this to here, this to here, and this to here. Let's think about what's going to happen. This will come here and flip, but it's not going to change anything. This will be flipped out, this will be flipped in, so we'll still have 1. This will slide over here, so we'll still have 1. Both of these are going to flip. So in that case, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are flipped, so you can get 2 pairs. So in that way, put this over here, the other one that has just 1 out over here, and then any one with 2 that are in over here. Do the algorithm. And boom, and as you can see, now it's going to work. So we simply go back to what we had. If I can find my way. Oop. Alright, I just bringing it back if I can. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now it's the same kind of thing. We've got these 2 that are out. This is out, and this is out. I've got to pair these together somehow. If I move it here, that doesn't work. However, how am I going to line this up to where both of them are here or here? Well, if I flip this around, this will end up over here. So using beginner's method, I'm going to put this up here, turn it around, and put it back down, but upside down. So U, R, U, I, R, I, U, I, F, I, U, F. We're going to swing this around. This will come down here so that these 2 will be on the same level. Turn, turn. Piece of cake. Now we can pair these by doing our algorithm. U, U, R, F, I, U, R, I, F. Bring it in. And now we've got this paired and this paired. And we can continue where we left off. No muss, no fuss. Just like that, and do our algorithm, and nobody will get hurt. Boom. Okay. So that's the only other scenario that you might see with that. Swing this around. Okay. Now for the next part, and for me, this is the funnest part of the puzzle solved because it's got the most variability, and you're not really relying on algorithms, you're just relying on positioning. And all you've got to know is the mix-up turnaround and also that edge swapping algorithm that we just did. So we're going to try to put in as many of these as possible, and we're going to use pairing the way that we did. So I see 2 greens here. So can I put 2 greens together? Well, let's see. So 2 green edges. Here's a green edge over here, and here's a green edge over here. So I can pair these 2 green edges to match these 2 green inner edges. Great. So move it, see I've got green here and green here. So turn it here, R, F, I, U, R, I, F. Turn it back and look at that, these are paired. So I'm going to mix up these guys with each other. This blue will, well, it's not going to end up where I want it. Splat, and now these 2 are in. So we just find every opportunity. I've got 2 reds here. I've got a red over here. Oh, I've got 2 reds over here. So that was kind of a gift. Now notice I'm not going to find a position where I can do the mix-up moves, because this has to be down here, but I can't move it away from here. But if I flip it, then the two reds are going to be here, and then I can move it down to here. So if it's impossible, just flip it. By flipping it, I mean do the beginner's method to bring it up to here, bring it down here, and then bring it down here, double turn, and now we're in mix-up position, and splat. So we keep finding opportunities as well as we can. I've got two blues and two blues over here, so this is easy, splat. So these are all, now bear in mind, and I forgot to mention this, I'm not trying to reduce all of these to make a 3x3. I'm just trying to reduce each one of these, and it just so happens I'm trying to put two in at the same time, but I can keep moving it around like this, it doesn't really matter. So let's see what else we have. Well, I've got these two paired, and I've got these two, but it's part of the same place, the same piece, so I can try to disenfranchise it by moving this. Well, it might be even more simple than that. I've got these two paired, I can simply move it here, go up, and now these are paired. All too easy. You can start trying to match colors also. Like here's a blue and green, this blue is already in. I'm going to try to match up things that aren't in yet, like these. So I see red and orange. These red and orange, I have two different variations of red and orange. So if I can get an outer red and orange, then that'll be pretty good. Here's an orange, here's a red. This is spoken for though, but that might not be a bad thing. So let's go ahead and match up this orange with this red and see what happens. Turn R, F, I, U, R, I, F, and bring it back. So it paired this red and orange together. So I'm thinking this can match with this, and you may say, well, I'm tearing this away. I am, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get the red back, and this orange will end up over here. Let's see if it does. Double turn, and nope, you can see that it's opposite, so that's not going to work. But that's okay, because if it doesn't fit with, if this doesn't fit here, then perhaps this does. And it does because this red is on this side. So I'm going to take these and pair it with this. Now here's something else that's neat. This green will pair with this. So we're ripe with opportunities. Double turn, this green is paired, and these are also paired as well. So at the end of the day, this got paired over here. So let's see what else we have. Basically, they're all pretty much in, except for a couple. This, this, and this. So here's something I can hunt for. This is a orange and red. So if I can get an orange and red at the top here somewhere, let's see. I have to have an orange up in this position to match with this. So here's an orange. If this orange ends up over here, you can match with this. So if I can match a red to here, then I'm doing well. So I need to get a red here. I've got a couple reds to choose from. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn this around. U-R, U-I-R-I, U-I, F-I, U-F, double turn, and move it in. Okay, so I'm going to match this with this. R, F-I-U, R-I-F, move it back. Okay, so I've got myself an orange and red, and you may say, well, I'm not going to disrupt anything here. So the orange and red that I have at the bottom, will this match with this? Well, right now it's not configured to do so. I've got to flip this, because this will never make it to here. So let's go ahead and flip this around. See, no new algorithms, just good old-fashioned strategy. Okay, I'm going to double turn this. And what's going to happen is this orange and red will come to here, and both of these reds will come over to here. So I'm not going to lose this red, but I will fill in this orange. So move it up, double turn, and bang. So that's in. All right. So now we just have this one, and they're both reds and blues. So the way I see it, I've got a red and blue. So I'd like to match this with a red. And I can do that because this blue is opposite this red. So let's go ahead and do our exchange. Boom. Okay, so here's a blue and red over here. And this is very nicely exchanged because this blue and red will match with this blue and red, and these two reds will match with these two reds. So I move it up, double turn, down, and bang. So now you can see all of these little 4x4 mini pieces are correct. So that is reduced. So that's really pretty much it. Now what you have is you've got a 3x3x4, but you don't have to solve it like a 3x3x4 yet. What I'd recommend now is go ahead and solve the first 3x3 Mixup Plus side. So here's the white. Let's go ahead and put the white centers in. Now what goes next to this? Well, we can try to figure that out based on the center, the corner rather. So this actually has to be orange. So that's got to be this one. Just going to move that in. Alright, moving the corner in over here. So now I know opposite blue, opposite green rather, is blue, which is right here. So we're going to move this in. And bring this back. Okay, now be careful about these centers here. We want to make sure we're doing the supercube style basically. And turn. Okay, you can see this is rotated wrong, so let's go ahead and get this in position. Alright, and the last corner. This is 3x3 strategy. Bang. So this is all in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solve this top part over here. And I do this the way I would do any 3x3. First off, make sure these are fine. So this belongs down here. Let's exchange it with the 3x3 Mixup Plus. So when I see a 4x4 Mixup Plus edge, I'm going to exchange it with the 3x3. So that brings that up. And now we'll do the same thing with here. Middle layer technique. I'm going through this because you might find a little complication. You see that we have apparent parity. It's really not parity, we just have to flip it. This is how to avoid that. Now we'll flip this down to here. Okay, you can see that we've got our cross. Now I'm going to rotate this up. When I see 2 in front of me, I'm just going to do my SUNY, R, U, R, U, R, 2, U, R, I. Do this any way that you want. I'm just going through this fast because this is 3x3 stuff. Okay, we've got our corners rotated up. These are in. Put these to the right side. Corner swap. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UID, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. I'm assuming you know cuboid strategy. If not, go ahead and ask. So now we have to rotate these two. You may think, oh, parity, but not really because we don't care what's happening here as of yet. So we do an adjacent edge swap. 2RU, 2RU, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R. Okay, that's it for the 3x3. Now this is going to be 4x4x2, and that's pretty much all there is. So first we'll get our centers in. I'm just going to move this over here. Red center. I need to find a green center. I'll move it in from here. So I'll move this up. Move the green center in, move it down. So green center is in. I need an orange. Here's an orange over here. So bump it out of the way because I don't want to mess these up. Double turn, move the orange in, and turn back, thus putting the orange here, and we have this here. Now for the blue, we're going to drag it in from here. Let's move it out of the way. Double turn, put the blue in, and double turn. So you can see all of our centers are in. Edges are done by sliding U technique. This is already in. I'm looking for the green and orange and hoping that it's up here. If not, this is the wrong green and orange. So if it's not up here somewhere, we move on because it's down here. Orange and blue. Here's an orange and blue, but it's the wrong one because if I slide it in, the blue is going to be facing it. Here's the right orange and blue. So I'm going to move this opposite here. Do a 2R, move it in from the right. Slide it to the left, do a 2L. Slide it back to the right, 2R. Slide it back to the left, 2L. Bring it back, and that's good. Blue and red. This is a blue and red, but this red will end up here. We don't want that, so this is the correct blue and red. Move it opposite, 2R. Slide the U to the L, 2L. Slide it to the R, 2R. Slide it to the L. Oops. 2L, move it back. Okay, we have one more to go, and that's going to be this guy here. Same sliding U technique. Turn and turn. Okay, so this is all solved. This is just cuboid strategy. Find the two corners that are in, we'll move it over here, move it to the right, and now we do corner rotation. These are edges, but we're treating them like corners. 2R, U, just this is the U, 2R, UI, 2R, then I do a UI and a DI, just with these two layers, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and this moves back. So you might get a situation where you end up with this. If I try to swap these two, I'm going to end up with misplacement like that. So what do I do about this? How did this happen? How did I get this parity? How do I get out of it? Well, it's not so much parity, it's a false equivocation. What happened is that these two are equivalent. So it's really just a 3-cycle when you think about it. This to here, rather, this to here, this to here, and this to here. But the way that you're going to do this is to do a sliding U technique to exchange this center with this center over here. So I'll move this opposite here. This center will come down to here. So do a 2M to move it in over here. Move it to the left or to the right, doesn't matter. 2L, slide it back to the M. 2M, slide it back to the left. 2L, slide it back, and then what you're going to find is you're going to have 3 that are out instead of 2. So that when you do your algorithm, you're going to have just enough to put these two in and put these back. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, and it's done. So there it is, the next level of mix-up cube fun. I find it to be a very entertaining series of puzzles with enough variations to make it interesting, building up one strategy from another, building each puzzle having to use the techniques of the previous one with a little bit of a twist. More mix-up variations coming soon. Thanks for watching.